Public-private partnerships have become a prominent part of investment in public infrastructure over the past 20 years. There are over 700 PPP projects in Britain and over 60 in Ireland. In Ireland, PPPs were first introduced in 1997 and are continuing to this day. At the heart of a PPP is a private company which will charge the government an annual fee to build the infrastructure and maintain and manage the project for typically 25 years. The structure has been promoted by successive governments on the basis of value for money and that it keeps the funding off balance sheet. But this is far from the truth. In terms of value for money, it is obvious that PPPs are more costly to the taxpayer than a directly built or procured project. This is largely because of how the private company can extract profit in multiple ways, such as refinancing of debt, exorbitant interest rates, the selling of equity shares, extra charges, and the undermining of paying conditions for workers. For example, many workers who were previously working for public institutions become employees of a private company with less rights to pensions and sick pay. The off-balance sheet financing is also a myth, as the government needs to recognise the liability in relation to the annual payments. The history of PPPs in Ireland is marked by failure. In 2008, the builder McNamara went bust, and the social housing regeneration projects in Dominic Street and St Michael's Estate were abandoned. The bankers were bailed out, while working class communities were ignored. The most recent social housing PPP in Dublin will see a private consortium being paid €13,558 per unit every year for maintenance and management. However, the annual cost for an approved housing body is only €2,375 per year. Again, we're seeing public money being used to provide profits for private companies. In Britain, a number of politicians have promised to end the practice of public-private partnerships. This has come after sustained campaigning by trade unions and campaign groups, supported by journalists and academics. The Irish government continued to support the PPP model. However, left-wing parties have consistently opposed these projects both in local councils and in the Dáil. We need to end the taxpayer rip-off and go back to public infrastructure built and managed by the public sector.